Hello and welcome to V8 TechWorks. So today we are going to start looking at background services here. So we have already completed here our backend, and now we are going to look at our background services. So our background services is just a small backend here, but it will do some task like checking if there is a new person who have been registered and the email has not been sent to them. So that is the work of background services, and also the templating of those emails. So if you haven't watched the demo video, you can go back and watch the demo video so that you'll understand what I'm talking about. So first thing first that I need to do is to make sure that also I push my code to our GitHub, and also because we are tracking our code, so let us to do that first thing. So I'm going to come here and then do git branch like here to see the branches that we have. And here you can see now we are in this branch that is called backend. So I'm going to push because this is the last changes that we did here in our backend yesterday, where we created the middlewares. And then from today now we'll be working on the branch that is called background services. So let me now track this code. I'm going to add here git add and then everything, and then I'm going to commit, and here I'm going to say like a comment of added middlewares. So added middlewares here, and then also here I'm going to be able to push my code, so origin, and here also I'm going to use now the backend here. So I'm going to push the backend branch, and we are going also to enter our passphrase. So let me add passphrase here so that we'll be able to push the code. So you can see here now the code has been pushed, and we can confirm that in a very fast manner. So I'm going to come here to repos in this repo here, and then I'm going to reload again here, and then you'll be able to see pull request here as a notification. So let me do that here. So full stack, yeah, you can see this repo is where we are pushing our code. You can see backend has recent push. We say 25 seconds. So the same procedure here is compare and pull request. Again, you can create pull request here, and then again you can merge the code. So this time is checking for ability to merge automatically, and after that now I can come here, confirm merge, and then my code will be merged like that. So my code has been merged now, and then you can come here to the insight and also track through the network how the code is being tracked. So right here you can see the times that we have merged our code. So now that is it. So here I'm going to come here to the also my project, and I'm going to create another branch, and this branch here I'm going to call it background services. So to create a new branch, you can do git branch and then the name of the branch. So here you can see git branch background services, and I'm going to now be able to do git branch again to see the branches. And actually I misspelled the branch, so here is git branch, and then here you can see now we have the, but if you can check here, you see here we have this branch that is highlighted green, and that means that we are on that branch. So now we need to check out to background services or switch to background services branch, because that's what we are working on from now on. So I'm going to do git checkout here like that, and then I'm going to add background services like that. And then actually we don't have this branch. I don't know why I have created that, but it's still okay. So let me just check the branches. So we don't have that branch, so let me switch again, check out, and then background services like that. And then if you do that, you'll be able to see now switch to branch, and then the background services branch. So if I do git branch again, you'll be able to see here now we have switched to this background services and it is highlighted using green. So let's go back into our code again, and then here also, because you can see our diagram here, I'm going first of all to explain what is background services and what we are going to do using background services. So I'm going to actually select this line here and cancel background services. So right now, as you can see here, this part that we have cancelled here, we have already worked in these parts. So for example, backend here, our MongoDB, and now we are going to start working on our background services here. So before I start explaining the background services, consider subscribing to this YouTube channel and also liking this video, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified the next time I upload the new video. Now here in our background services, we are going to do something very special, and this one will be scheduling the task. So we are going to run a different task here, and this task will be scheduled. For example, we are going to run a task that will be checking in our database every second to check if there is a user who has a status of 0. That means is a default status, and that means that user has been newly created, and no email has been sent to them. And then what background services will do, will send the email to the email of that user, and that contains the information like their email and also their address, their country, and also our backend also will have generated the password. So after that, now what we are going to do, it will just then also update the status of that user to 1, so that the next time that, or after 1 second, when this background services is running again and going through to our database, it will find that this user has a status of 1, and that means that user has already been created and the email has been sent to them. So it will skip that user and check for another user who has at least that status of 0. So that's how our background services will work. And here I'm going to use something that is called node-cron. So I can come here and maybe search for that package that will help us to be able to schedule those tasks. So I'm going to go into npm node-cron, and here, if you can see here, so this is a node-cron, and we need to also be able to install it. And I want us to check how this node-cron will help us. So here we have the documentation, and through this documentation here, you can see the node-cron module is a tiny task scheduler in pure JavaScript for Node.js based on GNU Contrab. And this module allows you to schedule tasks in Node.js using full cron tab syntax. So need a job scheduler with the support for worker threads and cron syntax. Try out now this one here. So getting started, you can see you need to install it, and then also you need to create a variable to import this cron here, node cron, and then here you can use now cron and then schedule, and then you are going to use this inside this function that is called schedule. You see here you'll be able to use this asterisk here, and through this asterisk you can be able to schedule. For example, this asterisk means different things. So for example, here you can see these are like 5 asterisk, and you can see every asterisk means something different. For example, this first asterisk here means the day of the week. Also here for the other one is for the month, the other one is for the day of the month, the other one is represent hour, the other one represent minute, and then we have for the second here, of which for the second here is option, and here you can see there are 6. So you can just avoid, or you can just actually, and you can just avoid to use this for the second here, because you can see this is option, and then it will just work okay. So now let's go also and see how also you can use cron tab or this scheduler in any other way. So you can see here, for example, this one is uses this asterisk here, and it has this asterisk where it has replaced it with 1, 2, 4 and 5, and here you can see the meaning is this task is running every minute, in minute 1, minute 2, minute 4, and minute 5. So I want to show you also where you can be able to know how to use this cron tab, because this is a very essential. So you can come to this website here that is called Cron Tab Guru. So Cron Tab Guru here, and this is where you can be able to exercise on how to use scheduler. So, and then click this one here, and here you can be able to at least make sure that you do everything. So for example, if I add here like 1, you can be able to see that here also it will tell me what that means. It means that this will run at 0 for 4 here, and then on the Monday, and if I come here and present like add like 2 here, you can see at 4 or 5 here on Monday, every Monday in February. So it will be actually running this schedule on at 4 or 5 on Monday in every February, and all Mondays, that is. So that is it. So you can come here and then just you can just be able to play with this and we'll be able to understand. So now let's get into application here. I don't want to explain too much also, because you can go and read the documentation. So here I'm also going to just close these other files that we opened in our backend, like that, and then also we are going to close this backend. And then the other thing is that we need to get now to our background services here. So I'm going to open another terminal here, and then I'm going to navigate to background services and initialize another small backend here. So let me cd to background. So cd to background. Let me just come here and add background services like that. And in here now, I'm going to initialize a node application, because it's just like a backend application. So here I'm going to do npm. Actually, it should be npm init and then -y like that. And then here we'll be able to actually initialize node application. So if I check now again, because this folder was empty, if you check here now, you can see we have package.json. So it is just the same as creating your backend. So, and then also something else before I forget, I want to show you is that if I come here to my drawing, you can be able to see that our background services here, this small one here, you can be able to see that it is only interacting with our MongoDB, and it will be sending like the data to MongoDB and also receiving the data from MongoDB. It is not interacting in any other section like a backend or maybe front end or even the admin side. So let me just go back here. And now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to actually make sure that I install the packages that we will need here. So I'm going to do npm, and then I can add I, or even I can just add install. And then here I want Express. First of all, I also want to have Mongoose here. So we have Mongoose. We need to have another package like .env. We need to have EJS that will help us to template our email, and also we need to have node mailer for sending our emails. And then I think this will be enough for now. So actually we need to have this package also that is called node-cron here, that we have here because we could have forgotten it. So node-cron, and then let us add here node and then cron like that, and then let us install all these packages. So these packages, we are going to need them. And here the EJS one, I know it is not that familiar to many other people, and this one here will help us to actually send now templated emails. So what I mean by templated emails is, for example, let me check if I have any templated email here. So I'm going to get into the inbox of one of my email, and I'm going to check if I have any templated email. So it is running here. So let's just wait, and here you can see, maybe let me check if we have templated. So from this one for Zapier here, actually you can see this one is templated, because you can see how it has like a logo of Zapier, and also you can see other things like this button, and also these icons here, and this button here, and also the signature here for the co-founder and SEO. So other ones here, if we check, you can be able to see that we have for like maybe here for the Neil Patel here. I think this is not templated, and let me check for another one that is templated. So for this one here, for the invoice home here, if I just click on it, you can see this one is templated like here. So we are going to be able to send emails that look like this. So, and then you can see also here it has like a very good footer. So that is it. So let's see if our packages have been installed, and right here you can be able to see that they have been installed, added 104 packages and audited 105 packages. So I'm going to clear everything here now, and then the other thing that I'm going to do is the same thing that we did with our backend here. I'm going to start by actually importing now, or actually I need to create the index here. I need to create the index.js here, this entry file. And if you have noticed is that when we install the packages, then we have this node underscore modules here folder has been created, because this is where packages has been installed. And then here I can be able to actually import now Express. So I'm going to start with const, and then here I'm going to import Express, and then here I'm going to require Express like that, and then also I'm going to create app, and to create app here I'm going to do const, and then this one we are going to actually call now this function for Express, and then I'm going also to have to import other packages here, and I'm going to drag this down a little bit, and here I can be able to get, for example, this one .env, and then import .env here, .env. Also, I'm going to actually have the cron here that will help us to schedule the task. So here also this one is node-cron. You can see it here. And then we need also to have like the mongoose package. So mongoose like that, and then this one is we are going to import it from mongoose like here, and then also I think that's enough for now. So the other thing that I'm going to do is to make sure that I have here .env config, so that we can also be able to use .env file. And that reminds me that also we need to create a .env file here, where we are going to put our secret things. So now what we are going to have in our .env here, first thing is our port that we want this server to run on. So I'm going to have a port here, and right here I'm going to use port 8001, because our backend is running on port 8000 and we cannot run on the same port. So I'm going to use port 8001, and also we are going to have our DB. So our DB URL here, and we are going to use the same DB, because we are going to use the same DB. That means that we can copy here from here now this URL here. So let me copy it like that, and then I'm going to close this, and in here I can be able now to add that URL there. So because remember, we are using the same DB, as you can see here in my diagram. You can see we are using the same diagram here, and we are making the request and also to the same DB here. So let me go back here, and the other thing that I'm going to do is now to make sure that my app here will be is running. So I'm going to start by reasoning now. So here I'm going to do port. And actually, let me get now the port now. The port, we are going to get it from process.env and then .port. So this one here will help us to access variables that we have put in .env. So for example, here you can see we have port, and this is, we started by process.env and then the variable name that we put on the this.env file. So now let's do app, and then here app we can use reason, and the first argument here is the port. So the port like that, and then we have callback function. So we have this, and inside here we can add console.log like that, and also we can have backtick. So after that, now here we can have now text interpolation, and here I can say background services is running on port, and then I will just get now the port here. And then now if I save this, let me save this, and then here also I can add like a comment, and then this one is I'm going to write here server, or maybe something of the sort. Let me just also remove this space here. So that is our server here, and then I'm trying to now run my application. So to run this application, I'm going to run the same with our backend. So I'm going to add node-mon. I'm going to type node-mon here, and if you have not installed node-mon, make sure that you install this node-mon here. You can do it globally, so you can just do npm install node-mon like that, or maybe you can install it globally. I think by installing globally, you not need to install every time that you are creating a backend application. So let me just have the node-mon here, and then I'm going to now have this run this index.js. Let's try, and you should see background services is running on port 8001. So you can see how easy it is. And then the other thing that we need to make sure is to make sure that it's connected to our backend, or our DB, sorry. So here we're going to do DB connection like that. So that's why I'm commenting this here, and I'm going to use Mongoose now. So Mongoose has a function that is called connect, and here to connection we can use now the port, or the variable that we have in our .env, and it is .db, or we can do the same here with this one here. You can see for the port, you can come here and create that variable if you want that. So here we can have db, and then this one will be from process.env, and then the variable name, which is db. And then here now we are not going to use all this, we are going to just call db, and then here we are going to have .then, and then here this is where you will be able to maybe display something. For example, we are going to display console.log, and then here we can add something like db connection. So I'm going to make sure that I remove that. So db connection is successful like that. And then here now, because when we are also trying to connect with our database, maybe we can have error. So I'm going to have .catch here. So what we are going to catch is an error now. So we can have catch, and inside here now I can have now this one like this this e here, which represent error, and then we can now be able to display that. So let me do that. So let me just have that here. So I'm going to do console.log, and then that now the e part here, or the error. So we can be able to see the error, or then if it is successful, you'll be able to see this text, DB connection is successful. And when I save here, let me show you. When I save this file, what you'll be able to do is that you'll be able to see that the node-mon package will be help us to rerun our server, and that's why we don't need to keep rerunning our server. So if I save that, you'll be able to see here starting due to changes, starting node index.js, and you can see background services is running on port 8001, and also here you can see DB connection is successful. So we have now successfully connected to our DB, and also here we have the server. So now the other thing that we need to do is to make sure that also we have our scheduler or something like task scheduling. So I'm going to add here task scheduler like that, scheduler as a comment here, and I'm going to now create a function here. So let me create a function here that we are going to call it run, or even I can be able to just copy from the documentation here. So if you check here, you can see we have a documentation, and through this documentation you can see, let me check. So here you can be able to see how to use it. But first of all, let me create a function. So const and then run this one. We are going to have it as a arrow function. So click that. And then inside here now we can call this cron.scheduler, and then like that. So this one runs after every minute. So let me copy this, and then here I can be able to just paste it like that. And then the other thing that I'm going to do is to call that function down here, run, and then that means that we'll be having our scheduler here. So because this one is running after every minute, so let me show you here. So if I save here like that, you can see also our server has been restarted, and this is because we have made the changes, and here you see DB connection is successful. Now after every 1 minute, you'll be able to see that it will console log this running a task every minute, because also I don't want us to waste a lot of time. If I add another asterisk here like that, so you'll be able to see, actually you can see here it has a console log this running a task every minute. So if you wait another 1 minute, you'll be able to see that it will also console log the same here. So I'm going to remove this, and here now you can see I have added another asterisk here, and right now asterisk are like 5. So let me add one so that we have 5 asterisk here, and this means that this will run after every second. So let me show you. So if I save this and then it reruns here, you'll be able to see that it will console log now after every second. You can see here, and then this one should change here to second after every second like that. So if I save that, we see after every second here it will console log that. So you can see running a task after every second. So because I don't want to just make sure that I console log after every second here, because you can see here it is a bit messy, then I'm going to remove this like that. So let me remove that, and the other thing is that let me also push this down. And now when we are actually creating any task, we are going to call it inside here in cron.schedule inside here, and this is where we are going to make sure that function is being called. And now, because I don't want also to make this video very long, I want to end my video here, and from now the next video we are going to look at how to send templated emails, and I think that also will be a very interesting topic. So here, before I end the video, and I need also to add the folders that we are going to need in our background services. The first one here is help us. So here, this is where we are going to create functions that we are going to reuse in our background services. Also, we are going to have models, just the way like the one that we had in our backend, and also we are going to have email service. So email service like that. So this one should be here in our background services. So let me move it, and then now you can see we have our helpers here, where we are going to put now the functions that are going to be reused. We are going to use models here. So also, because we are going to connect with our database, also you can see email service here, and this is where we are going to create our services that will be run by background services. And then I think we don't have any other thing. Here also we are going to have templates, email templates, but that one we are going to do in the next video. So remember, if you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe and also like this video, so that also it may reach many other people. So that is it. I have a great day. See you in the next